The abandoned gas station. The road stretched on endlessly, a ribbon of cracked asphalt swallowed by the dark. Only the low hum of Emma's old sedan broke the silence, its headlights cutting tunnels through the mist that clung to the forest. She glanced at the clock on the dashboard. 11:47 p.m. She should have been at her motel hours ago, but her GPS had rerouted her after a highway closure, sending her deeper into the back roads of nowhere. Her fuel gauge dipped dangerously low. The glowing orange light blinked like a warning heartbeat. "Of course," she muttered, gripping the wheel tighter. Her phone had no signal. The trees leaned closer the farther she drove, branches clawing at the edges of the light beams. When the faint neon of a sign appeared ahead, she nearly sobbed with relief. A weathered gas station sat just off the road, its single canopy light flickering weakly. The place looked abandoned, boards over the windows, a rusted ice chest near the door, weeds bursting through the cracked pavement. But the pumps stood there, ancient but intact, as if waiting. Emma slowed, pulling in. Her tires crunched over gravel. The place was wrong, but desperation made the choice for her. The sign above the shop still clung to life. Redwood Gas. The letters buzzed faintly, though half were dark. She parked beside the pump, killed the engine, and for the first time, silence swallowed her. No crickets, no wind, just silence. Emma stepped out. The air smelled faintly of rust and rot, like wet earth left too long in a basement. She wrapped her jacket tight, swiping her card at the pump, though she doubted it worked. Nothing happened. "Figures," she muttered. Then she noticed it. The station door, though boarded, hung slightly open, swaying in the faintest breeze. Chapter 2. Inside Redwood Gas. Pushing the door open sent a groan through the old wood. Dust motes swirled in her flashlight beam. The inside was worse, shelves half empty, the floor littered with old wrappers, cans, and shattered glass. A faded poster of a smiling family drinking cola peeled from the wall. Emma swept her light across the counter. An ancient register sat there, unplugged but oddly clean. Behind it, a row of photos in cracked frames. A man in grease-stained overalls, a woman with hollow eyes, 2 children who didn't smile. The air grew heavier, as if the building exhaled something stale into her lungs. She turned toward the back, where a hallway led into darkness. Her footsteps crunched on broken glass. Somewhere deeper inside, something tapped. Once. Then again. A slow, deliberate sound, like fingernails against metal. Emma froze. The tapping stopped, and in the reflection of the dirty cooler glass, she thought she saw movement. Someone ducking just out of sight. Her chest tightened. She raised her phone, forgetting there was no signal, and whispered, "Hello?" The silence answered. Then, faintly, from the back room, came a voice. A child's voice. "Help me." Emma's heart skipped. The voice was faint but clear, high, fragile, threaded with desperation. "Help me." Her flashlight trembled as she aimed it down the hall. The beam landed on warped wood and peeling wallpaper, no figure in sight. Every instinct screamed leave, but her car sat outside with an empty tank. Even if she wanted to run, she had nowhere to go. "Hello?" she called again, her voice cracking. No answer. She stepped closer to the hallway, her shoes crunching softly. Each step seemed louder than the last, swallowed by the suffocating silence. The smell hit her stronger here. Mold, old gasoline, something metallic underneath. The corridor stretched toward a half-open door, shadows pooling around it like liquid. "Is someone there?" she asked, softer now, as though afraid of waking something. The door creaked, just slightly. Then the voice again, closer this time. "Please, help me." Emma's throat went dry. She reached the door with a shaking hand and nudged it open. The beam of her flashlight revealed a back office. Papers lay scattered across the desk, yellowed invoices, and faded gas receipts. A tipped-over chair rested in the corner. On the far wall, another door, this one locked with a heavy chain and padlock. The voice had come from behind it. Her light caught something scratched into the wood above the lock. Words gouged deep, as if carved in panic. "Don't let them out." Emma staggered back, pulse pounding. Her breath clouded faintly in the air, though the night was warm. She lifted her phone, shining its screen near the lock. The scratches were real, deep grooves darkened with age. Her stomach lurched. She turned to leave, only to freeze. Someone stood at the end of the hall. Her light caught only fragments. A man's outline, tall and still, his head tilted unnaturally toward her. Features remained obscured by shadow, but she swore his eyes gleamed faintly, catching her beam. "Jesus!" Emma gasped, stumbling back a step. I didn't mean to." The figure didn't move. Her light flickered. When it steadied, the hall was empty. Emma backed toward the office door, nearly tripping over the chair. Her skin prickled, every nerve screaming, "You're not alone." She forced herself out of the room and back toward the shop floor, her breath coming fast. Outside, through the boarded windows, she thought she saw another light. A dim glow like headlights, pulling into the station lot. Relief surged. Someone else was here. But when she rushed outside, the lot was empty. No headlights, no car, just silence. And the pump meter, though untouched, ticked upward slowly, as if fuel were flowing to something unseen. The ledger Emma returned to the shop floor, clutching her jacket as though it could shield her from the stillness. Her eyes kept darting to the boarded windows, convinced something was watching from outside. She forced herself back behind the counter. Maybe, just maybe, there was a landline phone in the office, something the storm hadn't killed. But before heading back, she noticed a book sitting half-buried beneath old receipts. Its leather cover was cracked and warped, the corners dark with age. A ledger. She hesitated, then flipped it open. The handwriting was cramped, slanted, notes, dates, fuel deliveries. But after a few pages, the entries changed. July 12th, she saw it again, standing by the pumps at night. Thought it was a traveler, until it smiled. July 18th, kids won't go near the station. Say it whispers their names. Mary says we should close the place. I told her we can't. July 29th, something got in, heard it moving through the aisles, locked it in the back room, hope to God it stays there. August 2nd, the voices don't stop. They sound like children. Don't open the door. Emma's chest tightened. The last entry was smeared, the pen pressing deep as if written in haste. "If you hear them, do not answer." The floor creaked. She snapped the ledger shut, her flashlight darting to the far aisle. Empty, just old shelves and shadows. But the sound came again, louder this time. Not footsteps, something dragging across the floor. Emma backed away from the counter, her eyes sweeping the aisles. Who's there? Silence. Then, movement. A flash of pale skin, low to the ground. Something had crawled quickly behind the shelves. Her stomach flipped. She lifted her light just as a face peeked around the corner, small, childlike, its mouth too wide. It smiled at her with teeth too sharp. Emma screamed, stumbling back, knocking over a rack of old maps. When her light swung back, the aisle was empty. Her pulse hammered in her ears. She ran toward the front door, only to find it closed tight. The boards that had once hung loosely now seemed fused, nailed deep into the frame. She pulled, yanked, slammed her shoulder against it. Nothing. Trapped. Her only option was the back. She forced herself down the hallway again, every step echoing. The chained door loomed at the end, the scratches above it catching her light once more. The voices whispered now, not one, but many. Faint, overlapping, some sobbing, others giggling. "Please, help, we're so cold. Come closer. We're hungry. Emma pressed her hands over her ears. Shut up! Shut up! The padlock rattled, slowly, as if something inside was tugging at it from the other side. Her knees nearly buckled. And then, footsteps, heavy ones, not crawling, not whispers. Footsteps coming from the shop floor, deliberate and slow. She turned, and the tall man was there again. Closer this time. His head still tilted, eyes gleaming. Emma bolted into the office, slamming the door shut and shoving the chair under the handle. She scanned the office desperately. Papers, shelves, a filing cabinet. No phone. But in the corner sat an old CB radio, the kind truckers used. Dust covered it thickly, but the cord looked intact. Her hands shook as she grabbed the mic. Hello? Anyone, please, I'm stuck at Redwood gas station, I need help. Static hissed. For a moment, nothing. Then, we hear you. The voice was distorted, hollow, male. Emma's blood ran cold. Who is this? The static deepened, like breathing pressed against the mic. Don't let them out. The radio cut dead. Emma dropped the mic, her pulse wild. She turned and froze. The chair she had shoved under the office door was gone. The door stood wide open. The hallway beyond gaped in silence. Emma clutched her flashlight tighter, the beam jittering with her shaking hands. She stepped back toward the desk, trying to think. Then she heard it. Laughter. Soft, childlike, echoing through the station. Her light flicked across the walls, the desk, the floor, then caught something on the ceiling. Fingers. Pale, too long, curling over the edge of the plaster. Emma barely had time to scream before a shape scuttled across the ceiling with impossible speed, vanishing into the hallway. She ran, past the desk, through the hall, back onto the shop floor.